oh boy, we are live, and this is the Seven City Shop Talk Sports Show. And sorry for the delay, everybody. Okay, and this is gonna be one of these shows. Ed has popped his popcorn, and all you viewers and listeners out there, this is a show. Hold on. Let me get you on mute. What was that, Ed?
I said I got in this line for popcorn. I think I may have been at Scotch Stadium. I'm not sure.
Okay.
It took forever.
Okay, well, I can tell you, viewers and listeners out there, this is going to be. And look at Aaron; he's even lined up. Aaron Mo, you said it is that time. I can tell you, this is going to be a spirited show. We're going to have a full slate of co-hosts today. A lot of things to talk about. Hey, I think it's just some of the anxiousness of the season, frustration from the season, optimism we want from the season. I think there's just
frustration.
Yeah, absolutely. It's certainly a lot of that. But let's do this. Before we get started, we want to thank you for joining us in another episode of our brand of dysfunctional camaraderie. And as of now, this shop is open. I'm your host, Lawrence Johnson. And of course, I got my man Seawood in the building. What's going on, Seawood?
What's going on, Law? How y'all doing?
Oh, Ed? Good, man. We're good. It looks like it's about to get popping here in a second. And look at Ed; he got his popcorn. What's going on, Ed? How you doing?
It's about to get popping, no pun intended.
Yeah, absolutely. How you doing, Ed?
I'm doing all right, man.
All right. For once, it won't be popcorn. Look, for once, it won't be the two guys who are on here, Ed and Chad, going at it. So potentially,
there's nothing new about that.
I can tell you what, everyone. The chat was on fire. That's all I'm gonna say. Our chat, our sports chat, pregame chat was on fire. And I can tell
for once, Chad and I were not involved.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. You guys are actually on the sidelines for this one. You guys are typically right in the middle of the octagon, getting ready to get it on. But no. We actually had a very different sparring session going on.
Ed, we're the first fight. We're not the main event tonight.
No, so that's your prelim.
We'll sit back and watch.
I told you he's trying to ease us out.
Yeah, because you guys were just the prelims. So it's playing out that way because the two main fighters haven't shown up yet. So we'll just continue with our prelims. Of course, we got a lot to talk about. If you looked at our marquee, some of the things that we're going to talk about, of course, coming off of a week that a lot of teams didn't think, a lot of people didn't think our team would win against Pittsburgh going into SMU and having everyone feeling more optimistic about getting the sixth game. So what we'll talk about today is, will UVA get their sixth game to become bowl eligible under the Elliot regime, which would be absolutely huge. And for the second segment, and this is brought on by one of our co-hosts, Ethan, he said, will Coach Elliot be back? Let's have a discussion about that. Will he be fired? That's another question that, and it's not saying it's out of, nowhere, because we talk pretty much about all subjects concerning coaches here, there, wherever. But it's interesting that it's coming from Ethan. So we'll talk about that. Then we'll talk about, the actual SMU game, which is the last home game of the year. It's military appreciation. And we'll be there ready for that and speak of that and get our predictions for the scores for that game. Then we'll talk a little bit about the basketball game. They're going to be in the Bahamas on Thursday playing a top 15 team, Tennessee Volunteers. And, it'll be another huge test. Of course, Villanova, no matter what their record is always going to be a good team to play to get good recruits there. Tennessee, an even bigger task. But like I said, this shop is open. Let's get going. AB and Ethan will be in tow here in a minute. But let's go and start our segment, guys. And they'll chime in a little bit, in a little bit. So will the Wahoos get their sixth game this season? That is something that a lot of folks, a lot of us are hoping for. It's 2 games left. They haven't been in this position in a little while. Last time they were in this position, they actually had won their 6th game earlier in the season, quite a bit earlier in the season, and they wound up going to the Orange Bowl and won the Coastal Division. They're actually Coastal Division champs. And then this has been about 5 years ago when Bronco Mendenhall was still at the helm of this Virginia football program. But I'm coming to you, Wood. Give me an idea, man. 6 games. Will they get this 6th win this season?
No, Law, absolutely not. They're definitely not going to win 6 games. SMU is probably the best team in the ACC. Between them and Clemson, it's very close. But much as I hate to say it, no, they're not. They're definitely not going to win Saturday. Then, I mean, they have a chance versus Virginia Tech. They're inconsistent a lot, but it's a night game in Blacksburg. I mean, they're going to be wild, as everyone knows. Lane Stadium is a monster, but if you throw that on top of an 8 p.m. game and history's against us, I don't know. Could they potentially upset them? Yeah, but I've sang that song before. So, no, I think we finished right where we are at 5. Will he be back? We'll talk about it later. But no, I don't see us beating SMU or Tech right now on the road, or SMU at home. SMU is on fire. I saw them Saturday. They're probably the best team in ACC over Clemson, in my opinion.
Wow. Okay, that's a pretty good analysis. Let me come to you, Ed. Will this team get their 6th win? Tell me what you think.
I don't think so. And it's SMU.
Let me check the damn moon and shit. Is it like an eclipse or a damn Saturn in the way of Jupiter or some shit?
We agreed again.
Is Jupiter in front of the moon?
This is how it starts. It just beating SMU is probably very much like beating Notre Dame. We would have to play pretty much flawless football, and we would still have to get some help. Okay. We haven't shown the ability to execute at that level. So, we would have to play a perfect game and get some help. One of those might happen, but not both.
Okay. All right.
No, I don't think we don't get the 6th win this weekend. I didn't think they were going to beat Pittsburgh. So, the Tech game end of the year, who knows? But as Chad was kind enough to point out, history is not exactly on our side. Maybe the football players shouldn't major in history. I don't know, but it certainly doesn't bode well for our chances. Let's put it that way.
Okay. Shout out to our folks in the chat. My man Aaron Moser, or Mosser, excuse me. He is in the chat. He's also a longtime viewer, listener of the 7 City Shop Talk Sports team. Also, Tony Appleby tuning in as well. Thank you for tuning in. Ex-UVA Wahoo on the line as well. And also Roger Brent. Thank you for tuning in and hanging out with us as well. Oh, there's the lady in the house of the 7 City Shop Talk Sports. The lady of the house, AB. What's up, AB?
Hey, y'all.
What's going on? Okay. So, the prelims is look, what they say, business is picking up, right? So, so for me,
you're gonna want her to let her figure it out herself.
No, we'll give a speaking to a prelim speech.
I'm just Amber, Chad, and I were agreeing on stuff.
Yeah, so something's wrong.
Oh God, what were y'all agreeing on?
I don't know. Jupiter's in front of the moon, and Saturn is closer to us than Mars is. So something's going on. Something's crazy's happening right now.
Hey, Chad. Chad, you feeling mocked? I'm feeling mocked here.
Yeah, that's why he pays us the big bucks, man.
You get paid? Wait a minute, he gets paid?
Hey, you get paid. Hey, AB, go ahead, sound off. We're waiting on you. Let's go.
Yeah. So well, what we were saying,
you know what we mean.
Well. Let's get to the first segment, and then we'll jump into some other things, because that was pretty much the comment based off of the next segment. But the first segment, AB, we were saying, do you think that this team will get their 6th win? That's the first question of the day. Of course, everybody knows AB. She is one of the co-hosts here, 7 City Shoptalk Sports. And we were just thinking, we're talking about, can the Wahoos get that second, that win out of these last 2 games? SMU, team on fire, high-flying team, lots of talent. Then we got, the hated rivals. Will we get one of those games this year?
No, we will not.
We will not. Okay.
As much as I would love to see it happen, I just don't. We're just not there.
Not there. Okay. All right. And what are some of the reasons that we're not there, in your opinion?
I think the boys and their mentality is there. Like, they want to win, but I don't think we're set up to win. And I think it's a lot deeper. Like, I've just done so much, like, really thinking about stuff, and the biggest part is going to be our recruits. I mean, let's be real. Who wants to come to Virginia? And I'm not saying this in really a bad thing, because the school is fantastic. We know that the school is fantastic. But for athletes, what makes Virginia stand out other than other schools? There's not a great, it's not really a community that's based on college students. And if it is, it's the college students that are really
Scholars.
well off. Yes, Scholars. Really well off. It's not a city for young athletes, where they can go to other schools and they can really have the time of their life. I mean, yeah, they'll play sports, but you want to have a college experience. I don't think UVA can provide that. Outside of that, other schools are offering a whole lot of other benefits of being a college student. Even being a college athletic, and I just don't think that UVA is offering that. And as much as I hate the NIL, that's a whole different topic. UVA just doesn't have that. And then I don't know. It's just the kids that age look for flashy stuff. UVA has always been very
conservative,
to the point,
super
conservative, basic. So even like our gear, the gear the guys get, it looks the same every year. There's nothing fancy about or flashy about what is offered to our students. So I think it's a bigger issue of just as a whole where we are for a football program. Recruits aren't going to come to Virginia. So that's the biggest part I see with the program right now, is that to get where we want to be, we're not going to be able to get those recruits.
Wow. Okay. That is a very good analysis there, AB. Now, I kind of feel the same way. I've been saying this for a while, where, and I made this statement. This was earlier in the year. And I said, hey, are we going to bite the bullet? And I think the term was, or the statement was, sell our souls to the football gods and become a true football school like Tech. Tech sold out. When Michael Vick hit, they knew. They said, this is our guy. This is our moment. And they struck. Okay? They struck and they said, hey, we are a football school, and everything that we do will be centered around the football program. We are no longer this agricultural, architecture school out in the stick or in the mountains somewhere. We are a football program first. Will UVA sell out? That's always has been the question that I have wanted to ask. Of course, Ethan is in the building as well, another host of the 7 City Shoptalk Sports. Shout out to my man Nate the Great, Aaron Mosser in the building. Susie Hoffman in the building as well. Thank you, viewers and listeners. Throw your comments in. I think it's about to get hot right now. Ding, ding, ding. Everybody come on out of their corner.
In the red corner.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a straight battle royal. The question was, Ethan, and we'll give you an opportunity for the first question to answer. And I think we pretty much know your answer, but we'll let you answer that yourself. Will UVA get to 6 games this year?
Will they win 6? The popcorn.
No way, no chance.
That'd be some really cool technology.
It's going to be a blowout.
It's going to be a blow. Okay, so you don't think they'll get? No, I mean, go ahead and give me your reasons why.
Well, I'll give you if you want a score prediction first or no.
No, we're not doing predictions. That's
Okay,
later in the
okay,
show.
all right,
I just
all
want to know
right.
a reason why you won't think they'll get the six
It's
wins.
too inconsistent, too undisciplined, and a coach that doesn't know how to discipline players. And then we're just outmatched talent wise. I mean, you look at time after time after time with every game, even when we're full strength, our offensive line is getting manhandled. Calandry is getting pulverized in the backfield. I don't care what quarterback you put back there, maturity or not, making good decisions. We cannot block, and that's a problem in the run game, and especially in the pass game, opening up early in the game. You can't if you can't run, you can't pass.
Okay, all right. That is a clear analysis from you as well. And my opinion about it is, I think that I mean, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there at my regular perch in the press box and watching and seeing how they play against SMU and hoping. Uh, uh, the SMU seems like it's almost impossible because where they're strong at is sometimes it's kind of like where we're somewhat weak at, meaning they can throw the ball on the outsides. Like our safeties are good. Actually, one of our other top safeties, Clary, is out now with the torn ACL, but they're good on the outsides. As you know, and they have speed, they have size, they can run the ball. They're just one of those offensive teams that give you nightmares as a defensive coordinator. So you know, the one that I'm wishing and hoping for, and Chad and I was just talking in the lobby about are we going to Blacksburg? And I'm sitting here like, man, a night game in Tech, in Blacksburg is just almost like
Nope.
an albatross. It's kryptonite for Virginia, and they're gonna fire that damn Sandman up, and they're gonna go bananas. And our boys gonna be up to it. In my opinion, it has to be um, a quarterback led uh, a charge. And I don't know if Calandria is ready to really take on that whole atmosphere. You know, maybe if he stays here for another couple years, his senior year, he might be able to overcome that because he's gonna be there. They'll be home next year against Tech. Then the following year, his senior year, they'll be away. Will he be ready? That's the kind of senior, who has been in the rivalry for all these years and kind of understands what he's stepping into. Remember, this will be his first year going there and dealing with the craziness that is Virginia Tech, on the road. So it is looking bleak. It might, if you ask in my opinion as well. So it looks like we're all unanimous. We may not look like we're going bowling if you ask the Seven City Shop Talk Sports team, but we'll keep our fingers crossed and hope our team will get there. Next segment up. So our chat, a lot of folks, a lot of viewers and listeners would probably love to see some of our chats. Our chat was very spicy today. And, and I mean spicy, meaning there was just a lot of statements being thrown, around left and right. And, some of them may have been agreed with, some of them may not. But, and this is why the second segment, the question is for the second segment is, will Coach Elliot be back next year, or will he be fired? That is something that came up, and I'm just gonna go ahead and just leave it right here. I'm gonna come to you, Ethan. And this is pretty much your segment, your topic. I wanted to go ahead and give you your time, about this because you felt very strong about this, about what this, what we said about or what you said about this statement. I mean, his words at the bottom of his marquee says, "Fire Elliott since 2023." So go ahead, Ethan. Just go ahead and let us know how you feel. The question was, will Coach Elliott be back next year? Let's give me your opinion on that, and
Well,
we'll chime in after that.
I can't fully say if he'll be back next year or not because that's not my decision. But I look at it from a overall landscape of college football of how things have evolved since you had the transfer portal as the Wild West and the NIL deals. Now, I'm gonna use Colorado as an example. Granted, I know that's Deion Sanders and his name, but what are they doing to their program to make it grow quick? Besides his name, they're throwing money out there. He's trying to get the best athletes. It doesn't take that much time to build a program if you really put the time and effort in it. But we're not throwing money at athletes, and we're getting, you know, D2 players from all these other schools. We should be getting 3 and 4 star recruits from the portal regularly. We shouldn't be reaching bottom of the barrel hoping we get a solid player from, FCS, whatnot. And then it just, I feel like it starts from the top. It's not even just an Elliott thing. The AD needs to go too. I mean, we have other than Bronco, and then you seen how that happened. He takes us to an Orange Bowl, and that's not good enough for fans after when's the last time we went to a solid bowl game that was of high caliber? We just run them out of town. I mean, it it starts with the top of not getting good, experienced coaches in there. Granted, who do you replace them with? I can't answer that. Depends on who's available and who we're willing to spend money on. But he's probably a great offensive coordinator. He probably should stay as a coordinator. And he's not good at picking offensive coordinators to run under him. I can tell you that.
Okay. All right. Let me come to you, AB. Look and see. Aaron Monster says, I think they keep him, but it wouldn't be against dropping him if we can get Jamie Chadwell from Liberty. So that's like a lateral move. AB, I know you had some things to say as well in the chat. Give me your opinion about the Elliot being fired statement.
He'll be back. He'll be back because of this very reason. So there's a lot of people are like, oh, we're gonna see how he does. We're gonna see how he does. And those people are like us, the ones that actually go and sit in seats. Like it's evident. Like the ones that spit out the money, okay, great. They have money. They can put money on the program. But the ones like us, we're the ones that show up at every single home game. Those seats aren't being filled. Us not showing up is us showing that we don't support what's going on. And like I said in the chat, stand on what you say and mean it 100%. Stand on business, right? All of us have to be able to not be afraid to voice how we truly feel about something. The more we sit back and the more we allow things to happen, it's all going to continue to be about the people with the money. It's not about just the ones who sit in the seats every single Saturday. I'm tired of going and watching us lose. I'm tired of seeing talent on the field. I'm tired of seeing we're so far behind the curve. We're just now getting a facility that doesn't even touch still some of the programs that are our level. JMU's had better facilities way before UVA did. So, what's the good? We can get on here and we can talk about it all day. But what point is that going to do if you don't do it any other time?
That's true. That's a statement as well. I think and it's kind of my deal, my job to kind of think, pull back off of it and kind of look at it from above, and it's kind of like what are we frustrated about? Because and then I figure, okay, well, we're frustrated about we're not winning, right? The ticket prices are too high. We think there should be better coaching.
Poor decisions.
We have poor decisions. I think that, what is it? The term, everything's kind of coming to a head, and that's kind of what we've been seeing, with the program. I'm going to say it again. Is UVA ready to sell their souls to be a football program? Absolutely not. And I don't see anything in the future. You kind of touched on it right there a little bit, AB. And I don't think that they're ready to sell out and be the kind of program that totally sells out and has a football program that everyone is very proud of and everyone can pump their chest about. will Elliot be back next year? I think Elliot will be back because I don't think that they want to pay his buyout. He's still owed a lot of money. Based off of what UVA puts out when it comes to money for football. You know, I don't think that they that they want to deal with that, paying him and then having to bring in, and my thing was last week when I said, who's going to come? If they UVA, and that's, 5 games is not the pinnacle. It's not what UVA wants. We want to go to 6, 7, 8, 9 wins and above. And heavens forbid, we've only had one 10, 11 win season in the history of this university. So anything you get 6, 7, 8, 9 wins, 10 wins, you're playing above the means of what this institution is used to when it comes to football. If they feel like, if there's a star, let's say there's a star up and coming coach or an established championship coach, what established coach that we would wants to come to a program that's going to get rid of Tony Elliott after he wins 5 games? That's the, it's like it's unrealistic, in some instances where it's like, are you going to build slowly? Because that's almost like the only option that this school is giving any coach that comes to this program. They're not changing regulations for grades. They're not going out and aggressively throwing money at kids like a lot of colleges is when it comes to NIL. Their facilities, like Amy said, are not up to par. Even though we have a beautiful new facility, they're not up to par with some of the higher end coaches, or higher end programs, when you have the coaches that can walk a kid through a couple facilities and it's like, oh, I'm done, and I'm coming to the university because I know that I'll be taken care of from even if I don't jive with the coaches, at least I know the facilities are going to be top notch in everything that I do and everywhere that I go. Ed, talk to me. I mean, what do you feel about this subject, man? I mean, I know, you're kind of, thinking about it. You're on the perch, thinking. Give me your opinion.
Well, let's start at the top. Will Elliot be back? I don't know. To be very honest, I don't. I could see it going either way. You could have a situation like we had with Bronco, where he says the AD or someone goes to him and says, Des Catchings needs to go, and Tony says, I'm not going to do that. Well, okay, you're fired too then. It could be a situation like that. And I mean, who knows? Chad may decide to step up and stroke a check to buy Tony Elliott out. I don't think that's going to happen, but you never know. I think it's probably more likely that he does come back, but I would not be surprised to see a scenario where he refuses to. I mean, he's. I think he's giving Catchings a longer leash than I think a lot of people would. So, fairly or unfairly, I think he sinks or swims with Des Catchings. I think it's probably, I'd say 60-40 that he comes back.
Okay. I think so as well.
I think that I would not be surprised to see him leave under a Bronco type scenario.
Let me come to you, Wood. What do you think, man?
No, I think he comes back. I don't think the buyout is as big a deal as we think it is, because UVA has money.
Chad's right.
A lot of the big donors want him gone. They'll raise the money. That's not a big concern in my opinion. But it's like Ed said. Do they come to him and say Kitchens has to go? I don't know if they say that, because Carla's interviewing for other AD jobs. Her contract's coming up. So do they really want to hire a football coach and a basketball coach? Because Sanchez more than likely is going this year. Do they really want to hire a football coach and a basketball coach in the same year? Probably not. So if I had to guess, I'd say he's probably back because they'll use the excuse we've shown improvement at 5 wins. But and again, it comes to that
Not
law,
wrong.
like you said, expectations as far as what do you expect from this team, this program. He's losing a ton of players. He's losing 40, 50. I don't know the number, but he's basically resetting next year anyway. So they'll probably keep him around and see what he does next year. But it's probably going to get worse. We're probably at his best right now. Because even if he hits the portal and recruits the hell out of them, probably half the guys he recruits are going to have to be starters, if not more. So, in my opinion, he'll be back. Next year will probably be it because there's no way you can replace that many players with the spectrum UVA is using. Like you said, we're not going to put out big money. We're not going to do the things we need to do to be big boy football, and it'll fall on him. But yeah, he'll be back next year, in my opinion.
So what you're saying is the transfer portal is like eating candy. You know, you're eating Snickers, Milky Ways, nerds, and it's like it'll rot your teeth quicker than anything because it's in and out, it's really quick, and before you know it, it's over, and you're left with nothing in your mouth except rotten teeth.
Well, I mean, he's got a lot of people graduating too, and
that's what I mean. Everybody's gonna be gone. It's like it's instant gratification, but then it's it's quickly gone. It's quickly out of there.
Can you replace those guys at UVA with that type caliber or better for next year with the parameters you're given? I don't think so.
There you go.
I don't think anybody
can.
Not just Tony Elliott. I just don't think it's possible.
Chad, you hit it right on the head. Not at the current way that UVA does football business.
Right.
At the current way UVA does football business, they cannot survive next year and be successful. I don't, like you said, Wood, I don't know where they come from. It's another eating candy kind of a situation. You're gonna try to bring in another 20 starters from the portal. I'm gonna say that's 60, outrageous.
70% of the guys you bring in, they're gonna have to start next year.
Yeah. And that's outrageous that you don't necessarily, you don't have them and it still comes to the core. You still got to, like the NFL, draft players. That needs to be the core of your program. You still got to bring in the young ones and develop them, just like any program. Aaron, he's saying, he'd like to get rid of basketball, coach, next year, and get Ray Odom at VCU. He coached the UMBC team. We'll get into that. We'll talk about.
Is that Dave Odom's kid?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah,
but Mark Stoops will be available next year.
Interesting.
Go ahead, AB.
But as much as I just think back on some of the conversations that we've had, and I do a lot of conversations with Antonio, and I just said something we said something today, and it really triggered in my mind. And I was like, dang, that's serious. How many times did we say that Poindexter he'd never been a head coach and he wasn't ready to be a head coach, but neither was Elliot. If you think about it, we keep saying who would want to be a coach here, but us as fans, that's the reason why we wanted Dex, because we know that UVA is behind the curve. But if there's one person who can talk about the environment of Virginia and what Virginia football means to this community, it was Dex.
I think Biscuit, in my opinion, I thought Biscuit was more head coach material than Dex.
Well, both of them in general, both of them are just amazing examples of Virginia. And not only that, but they know the traditions. They know what Virginia football means. Mm-hmm. That's why we wanted him, because we knew people like that. That's what's going to get recruits here.
Because they'll help sell tickets now. That'll help sell tickets.
And they'll know how to get the kids to the school. They've been there. They understand what it means. They know what playing for Virginia has meant. So that's why we wanted them so bad. But now we have somebody who it was in the same caliber as Dex, never been a head coach. And look at the results we've got. It ain't no different.
I think.
Had Dex been a coordinator anywhere?
He's a D coordinator at Penn State.
But he doesn't call plays.
Currently, but what about when we were hiring?
But how do we compare like a former player that's a coach to how players are now with the transfer portal and NIL? I don't feel like you can compare the same though, because before
He
people played for
understands.
the universities, now they play for the money.
That's what I'm saying. That's
He
another thing
understands.
I was
He
about to
understands the
say.
environment in a way we don't.
Now that is a very
Yeah,
true
but
statement.
I mean, Tony
That's what
Elliott
I'm
called
saying.
plays at Clemson, and the offensive coordinator. They're all 5-stars. I mean, we can't give him kudos for that. I mean, hell, I could call plays
What?
at Clemson.
That's what I said
Uh,
too. He was
okay,
always
Jeff.
and a lot of people go there because they want to play for Dabo. Like, let's be honest, the recruits go there because they want to play for him.
Right. I mean, they're all 5-stars. I mean, how hard is it to call plays when everyone's a 5-star?
This is a very interesting conversation as always when we talk about UVA football and in the future and where we go and what adjustments we think need to happen. It's so many. There are so many places that things need to change in order to make this a stronger football environment. I think if we even think about, the coach, what kind of coach do we want? He came from a powerhouse, Coach Elliot, but when he got here, his message totally changed based off of where he came from. He came from a high-end, high recruiting, like you said, 4 or 5-star environment. As soon as he got here, the message was, we're going to be the model program. We can have scholars and athletes, correct? You guys remember that?
Yeah.
When he was getting hired, he said, we're going to, you know what I mean? So you will never succeed. You can't be like Harvard, when it comes to, when your hat is always hung on academics for the most part, you can be a somewhat of a competitive football team, but you'll never be a power. Now they're running into the situation where they can't fill the stadium, which I don't never remember them not being able to fill the stadium. And this has been years of dwindling. You said what, Ed?
I do.
Oh wow. So when was this? This is something that
early 80s.
Okay.
Early, yeah. The joke always was that the first prize in a radio contest was 2 tickets to a Virginia game. Second prize was 4 tickets. It was bad. I mean, we cheered beating VMI, and the crowds were. They didn't even fill the old Scott Stadium. Never mind the new one. So I mean, you fill the place up for like Maryland or Tech, but for anybody else, probably not.
Okay.
It was
Let me
ugly.
ask you this.
People were setting up mini bars in the stands. I'm not kidding.
Go ahead. What were you saying, Ethan?
Let me ask you a question. I'm kind of curious what everybody's opinion is. Would you rather get rid of Elliott now and Carl Williams put a new head coach in there? Or would you rather have another year of Tony Elliott and wait for a new AD to come in to hire their own head coach?
I think a new AD is going to want to hire their own coach.
What was that, AB?
I don't think Carl is the problem. I think too many
Carl's a problem.
Too many people are trying to call Carla out, but let's be real. It's just the environment in general. She can only do so much too. UVA has their standards, and it is what it is, and that's what she's expected to follow. I mean, you got to think these people with money. A lot of them are the ones who want to keep this. I mean, I have a friend who used to go, who went to, they want to keep the culture of being an being a scholar school.
Yeah.
They don't want to sell their souls. They want to keep this model and this culture going. I mean, I have a friend of mine, and he went to UVA. And when I mentioned, he was like, "Oh, we didn't need Dex anyway. He wanted to lower the academic standards for athletes." Well, yeah. He was like, "No, well, why would we want to do that? We're known for this, and why would we what?"
Right.
So it's even the people that went there have this same mentality of wanting to keep this school as far away of being a football program as possible, because we want to continue to hold some medal of honor of being an educational school.
This is the thing.
Traditions.
This is the thing, AB. They don't want to devalue their degree. That's the thing. When you and that's like the ugly, underbelly of lowering academic standards, those who came before you will possibly get the stigma of, stuck to them that, well, you went to UVA. Well, the degree's not what it used to be. You understand what I'm saying? There's a lot of people who paid a lot of money to go to that school and to be what they are and to come out of there, this high-end academic institution,
brand.
and the brand, and don't want it sullied, I guess is the word, with, their academics are not what they used to be. And, that's going to make my degree seem like it was lesser, regardless of how long, how far I graduated, previously to being there. So that's, I think, the thing. The old guard, is standing pat. You got a point, AB. That is true. The old guard
What's the
is
difference
standing pat in UVA.
from basketball and baseball and basketball have to have high standards of GPA and they get great players? Then why can't football do the same?
Football is a little different, man. Football is different from basketball. Basketball, listen, Ralph Sampson took one player to change the entire environment and change what UVA basketball was. You only really need 1 to 2 people who are like super duper stars to come to your school, and it can change everything about your basketball program. Now, football, you need a lot of guys. You need a lot of guys in football. And a lot of times, just the demographics of football, you don't necessarily need scholars to play football. You need tough, hard-headed, physical guys who are good at blocking, tackling, running, to play football and to squeak by. Chad played football. I played football. A lot of the guys I played with was in special ed. Let's call it what it was.
I was pretty dumb.
I resemble that.
A lot of my guys that I played with, a lot of them were guys, they weren't necessarily, and I'm not saying that. I used to teach special education. I used to teach special education kids. But my thing is, you don't necessarily need a scholar to play football. You can get a damn good football player and give him 1 to 2 duties, and he can be a dominant player. But you need a lot of them. You need them in force. It's a little bit of a different animal. It's just basketball. You can bring in 2 or 3 superstars, and all of a sudden your program. Think about Marquette. Does anybody know what Marquette even is? Marquette brings in 1 to 2, 3 really good 5-star players, right? Where Dwayne Wade played, and they are up there. They're always a top 15 team, and it's like, well, who the hell is on that team? They got a few stars and a lot of players that play around them. Gonzaga used to be that way. Gonzaga basketball. Now Gonzaga is an all-star team out there in the West, but Gonzaga used to bring in a few stars, but had a really good team around them, and they played really well. But unless you have a mastermind like a Tony Bennett, where he knows X's and O's inside and out and can get the most out of his talent, his basketball talent, then, you could probably see some things change. But, football, you just need some guys, some tough guys, a lot of them, almost like a gang of folks just dropped on your campus. And maybe they aren't the greatest students, but they're hell of a football players. Look out west, look out west. I think we can all agree on that, even though we all support the Wahoos. One thing Virginia Tech is good at is getting football players, regardless of if it's a down year or an up year. They get ball players over there, and players want to go there and play. Anything you want to add to that, AB?
Yeah, so this is another thing I want to ask y'all. So what degrees is UVA known for?
Medical.
Ooh.
Law.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Ed.
Comm school, econ.
They're mainly known for like medical and lawyer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
what football player do you know is going to do medical or law?
Well, go ahead, Ed. Hold on, AB. Go ahead,
Ed. Comm school, like I said, comm school for starters. Is comm school grad school? It might be
Explain comm school. Some of our folks may not
a
understand that.
commerce school. It's the business school.
Business school. There
We
you
call
go.
it
Business
commerce
degree.
because it sounds better.
That's right. Business school.
The history department at UVA is pretty good. I think the econ department doesn't have to take a backseat to anybody. There are degrees that are there. I haven't really been at the university in a while to know what they're currently offering. I just learned the other day that my alma mater has a degree program in internet security. I didn't know.
That's where the money is.
Yeah, but I didn't. We were just a little podunk liberal arts school, and not, internet security. We didn't even have an internet when I was there.
Right.
I don't think it's just the degrees. I feel like
I asked a question. I'm gonna get there in a minute. I just asked a question. Okay. What is UVA known for?
So undergraduate. Henry's saying undergraduate.
Law, medicine.
Right.
Business.
So a lot of the one of the biggest selling points, we're talking about the education and different stuff of UVA. A lot of the selling point is, okay, yeah, you come to UVA, you'll have a UVA degree. I challenge people to find out the actual fields that these football players are in right now.
Okay.
That didn't make it pro.
Can
ask them if their UVA degree really made much of a difference.
Well, Antonio,
that's a dicey, but very valid. Good question.
It's just valid because
I'm looking gender studies or farm studies like Virginia Tech does.
Yeah, easy money. You know what I mean? They just, what they are.
But we're so high on the horse that we won't do that.
That's what I'm saying. Well, you get that degree, but a UVA degree really stands. Yes, a UVA degree stands out, but just UVA is known for medical and law, and these guys are not medical students. These guys
aren't doctors and aren't lawyers, right?
Not lawyers, So a lot of these guys are going into different degrees like psychology and different things like that, but are they necessarily using their degrees? I can't tell you. It's a question that I truly have wondered, because that's always been a selling point. But is it really a selling point?
At this point,
yeah, it's like they always said when they have a 300-pound fat redneck going up against a 140-pound doctor, who's going to win?
I ain't never heard that one. Who's going to win that, Jad? I ain't never heard that.
We've seen that for the last 20 years. You tell me who won.
Oh, you talking about on the field? I got you. Yeah, no, yeah, the Virginia Tech kid's gonna win every time.
It's all fun and games until somebody needs a leg set.
yeah, somebody needs an IV. But yeah, it's the age-old question, for this institution. What do we want to be? Are we going to complain? And how are you going to get fans back into the stadium? Right now, I think that they're dead in the water without a paddle. Like, really. They're at a crossroads. UVA football's at a crossroads right now because there's nothing on the horizon. Chad and I just talked about how the roster is eaten up from the inside out, and you don't have core players from a youth standpoint to build your program. So you're going to bring in people, number one, from outside of the state. People don't know them, but sure, you'll get some talent there. But will you consistently win? That's not how you build and consistently win. Also, will, being that this, will they go out and pay? We talked about endowments. I looked up, we did the research and we looked up endowments about 3-4 shows ago. And we looked up who has the largest endowments. UVA is a top 15, top 20, top 15-ish endowment school in the nation. Okay. And I know that money for endowments is used for education and medical and lawyers and all that. Because that's where a lot of the money comes from. are we going to invest more in the football program and change the culture to a football culture? I think Carl and them are trying, and like AB said, I don't think Carl is the problem. I mean, outside of football, this is one of the most winningest. She has like the most wins, and I know Chad's argument is she didn't hire them, but you still didn't hire the coaches, but you still gotta count it. There's a lot of ads that that get it, that get credit for coaches they didn't hire, but you still gotta win. You still gotta foster an environment of winning in order to get those wins from all the other sports. So they've won, like, there's not like a losing record that I can really remember on the books right now under her, except football. And the question still remains: are they going to sell out? Are we going to still be here next year talking about UVA football? It seems like we are, unless there's some kind of miracle of super athletes that want to come to UVA, a contingency that wants to change the environment, wants to make UVA more of a football program, and they change their coaching ways or they adjust their coaching ways to make it more advantageous for players that want to play here as well. And so it's not just, the transfer portal. Can we get recruits that want to come here? I don't know. What do you want to add to that, Ethan?
I was trying to actually look up Carl Williams' track record from UVA to past job experiences, kind of look at her resume of football wins. But
The
I'm gonna
football
have to.
wins is not the strength. Is not what it is. That's easy to look up. She only, what are we, 4-3-3, right? 5-3-3. They only have 11 wins in 3 years, 4 years, or 3.5 years.
Are you talking under Tony Elliott?
Yeah.
Well, I was just looking over her.
Well,
resume.
Bronco. Yeah, she got an Orange Bowl. She was there for that.
But I mean, where'd she come from? Wasn't that Georgia before?
Georgia. Yeah, Georgia.
What's her track record there?
She was the assistant AD.
What was her records under her as assistant? I mean,
I don't think it was bad. I don't think University of Georgia is what University of Georgia is, a powerhouse SEC school, throws a lot of money out, gets a lot of high-end athletes. I don't think that's, I don't think she came to the University of Virginia with a losing reputation from Georgia. Georgia's still, doing what they want to do from a football standpoint for sure. And from a basketball standpoint, when she was there, Anthony Edwards was there from the basketball program, and they were a good basketball program there too. Ant-Man was there. So I don't think, for her, I mean, I don't, like I said, I don't think she's a problem. I mean, what is your problem with Carla, Ethan?
I think from a fan perspective, I don't think she's doing enough to fill the seats. I mean, I feel like that's part of her job. If you look into the ticket prices, I also think that's still too high. If I'm just looking at it from a fan perspective, right at the moment, I don't think she's doing enough to fill the seats. I mean, to me, like, we have a 60,000 person stadium. Why are we not at least getting 50,000 every week in football? I mean, if tickets are cheap enough, people will come, even when we're losing. Look at Virginia Tech.
I don't know about that either. I don't think that we're that culture. We're not that culture, dude. I think even if we were winning, I don't think we would fill the stadium.
I mean, you look back at like the early 2000s under Al Groh, we got great attendance under him for a while.
Yeah, but we weren't filling out 60-some thousand seats.
No, 60,000. No,
but that's what I mean. You want 60,000 seats.
And that got ugly quick.
Yeah, the 50,000, 55, 56.
We've lost the people because we stopped thinking about the people that matter. Mm-hmm. We care more about the people who are spending more money and dollar amount instead of the ones, again, this is what I've told y'all at the beginning of the show. the focus has been towards the people who are spending a lot of money and donating a lot of money. That's how that the football facility was built. Donors. Is she able to get money? Sure. But is she able to fill the seats? No. Because we've lost touch of the family atmosphere that UVA football has always been. This coach has, think about Mendenhall's entire, and Mendenhall was under Carla, so it's not a Carla problem. Mendenhall brought in the fans with the fourth side. Everybody was bought into that. People were still, we weren't sold out by any means. We weren't even close to that.
Yeah.
But the stadium was still full because Mendenhall still brought a family atmosphere and he cared about the fans that showed up every Saturday. He didn't necessarily always think about the ones that donated a bunch of money. He cared about the ones that showed up every single Saturday and supported his team. This coach does not do that.
Yeah. It started in 2008 too, when they started taking away all the seats and making it for donor seats. You had to have higher donors to get those good seats, and it made it harder for the hometown fan to keep their seats for season tickets.
I think Ed was saying they needed to start with an apology.
Yeah,
is that what it was? Is that
it
what
wouldn't
it
be
was?
the worst idea. No.
Right? Isn't that what it was? It was something like that.
They took my seats. I didn't give them up. They took them. Didn't matter what I gave. My seats were gone.
I felt that 100%.
So that right there alone, that's some. And they got some fences to mend, major fences to mend.
And they picked a bad time to do it because we were starting to plan for my daughter to go to college. So, could I find something to do with that $3,000-$4,000? Yeah. Yeah, I think I can.
For sure. And we're just thinking and just brainstorming, trying to come up with some ideas and just telling our stories here at the Seven City Shop Talk Sports about, and I don't want to sound grim, or we don't want to sound grim, or we don't want to sound like, there's not a future in UVA sports, but there has to be a major change somewhere.
There's got to be a meeting in the middle. It's the point about the academics is legit. It's been that way since forever. People had a field day when Ralph Sampson was majoring in communications. Yeah, communications. Oh, what's that? The university was founded as an academic institution. It wasn't founded to fund an athletic program.
Right.
So you have to acknowledge the 600-pound elephant in the room. That being said, what the academic side needs to understand is that if you think it's easy to play a sport and pull and hold down a full academic load, I suggest you try it. It's not easy. Those kids are busting their ass day in and day out. It's not easy.
Plus
they're
the rigor
they're not
of
dumb.
the classes.
What was that, AB?
Plus the rigor of the classes. I mean, these are hard classes.
It's not like you're taking classes at Piedmont. No disrespect to Piedmont, but I mean, they're not the same.
Yeah. Let me come to you, Wood. Add something to this, Wood. I know you've been observing a little bit here of this conversation. What do you think, just from your opinion, you think in your wisdom, what do you think this institution needs to do to turn some things around? And nothing can happen overnight, but give me some ideas.
I mean, like you said, that's a broad question. I don't know.
Small steps. Let's go small steps. Because I mean, we're both season ticket holders, or we go to every game, and so we're there. We're in the environment we're on the grounds every week, every other week at least.
I mean, I think it's obvious what we need to do, but we're never going to do it. You gotta lessen the academic standards for football and basketball too. To be honest, we're never going to do it, but that's what you need to do. I push back a little bit that Carla's not part of the problem. I think she absolutely is. If you look at what good hire has she made, I'll put that out for anybody. I don't know any good hires she's actually made right now, but she's behind the 8 ball because of the standards we have. So Tony Elliott, I mean, we were optimistic about him, but he was dealt a hard hand too, because you're not going to get 4 and 5 star guys with these 4.0s that you got to have that in the classroom basketball. You got to have it, with Sanchez. He's not set up for success either, but I don't want to put it all on her because absolutely not all on her, but I think she has something to do with it. So just say she's not part of the problem. I kick back on that a little bit. So anybody want to argue with that?
Would it do any good?
No, I think I mean that's valid. That's a point taken. Now it's I think it's less about her though. I think it's less about her. I think when you're running the whole thing, you're going to have to take a piece of that blame pie. But I think the problems of what's going on with the football and is less about her. Now, sure, the hire, if you want to blame her for that, well, you put the guy in place. Okay, I get that part. But the support from the fan base is another thing altogether. That's something that I don't even know how to even approach that. I don't even know how to. I mean, Ed said, apologize. AB says, bring back the family environment. They got to totally bring in like a PR firm, to totally change everything about the attitude, the mood that people have with this football program. Everything needs to change,
Extreme athletic makeover.
Yeah. For just the football program for right now.
It'd be a good place to start anyway.
Yeah, well, that's going to be the money maker. That's the one that's going to support everything else. So
that's the bell cow.
That's right. So you're going to start with the one that has the biggest impact, which is football, on the rest of your sports. But I don't know. They tried and they tried to, they made some adjustments and some improvements on the stadium, the lights, and I know some people don't like the loud music. They try to make more of a party atmosphere from a music standpoint. A lot of people hated it. But that's the old guard. The old guard hates that louder music that way. But if you go to a lot of he's smiling for Chad. When you go to a lot of other,
it's too loud. You're too old.
No,
I was thinking about Ed.
But when you go to a lot of stadiums, AB, tell me if I'm wrong, and you hear the music, it's loud like that. Where the stadiums are loud and it's thumping and it's, and the fans are really into it.
I have to say, North Carolina was probably one of the best environments that I've been to.
They're off the chain in there.
And it wasn't even a packed house. The game that I went to was pre-COVID, and the stadium wasn't full, but it was lit. Like the music, the teams were, both of the teams were getting involved with the music, and the energy was so high that you couldn't tell that the seats weren't filled.
Call it what it is, Virginia Tech.
Oh yeah, I mean,
they blow the roof off that place every home game.
Yeah, every home game, and that's why people go. People go for that experience.
We got to stop sitting down.
Oh yeah,
that's the thing. We
get yelled at.
You're right. They are. They're gonna yell, "Get down! I can't see."
Man, I can't see.
Exactly. But
I've heard it before.
Oh no, we all have heard it. But I think we need to get off of we need to stand up. We need to, and we talked about this last year beginning. Do we change the music? Do we change the culture? As long as the old guard hold the purse strings, I don't think it'll happen.
If you change the music, if you change any of that, it's pearls on a pig.
But you have to decide. That's part of the moving forward. Okay, yeah. I get it. The older people, no disrespect to anybody that's listening, eventually they're going to stop coming. it's the. I'm just saying, like, they're not going to be able to come forever. No, in general, they're not going to be able to come forever.
That hurt, huh?
No, I mean, even like my grandfather.
That's a little close preaching there, AB. I got to tell you.
No, I'm not. I'm saying my grandfather, like even like my grandfather.
How old is your grandfather, AB?
He passed away in his mid-80s. But what I'm saying is, like,
you're digging a hole, Ed.
At one point in time, he wasn't able to go to games anymore.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to find a way to get more younger generations involved, because that's who's going to continue to support the program for the long term. If we keep catering to the old ways, we're going to be empty eventually, because nobody finds it fun.
I called it the church mentality. I said we got more headstones than we do people in the pews. You know what I mean? We got
there's a lot of pearl clutching going on.
Look, Ed, you like my sayings, don't you, Ed?
I was just thinking there's a lot of pearl clutching going on. I've been beating my head against this wall since roughly the early 80s. It's always academics first.
Yeah.
End of story.
But I wanted to add something though, because I agree with Chad. I don't think it's fully a Carla problem. Yes, I agree 100%. The hires haven't been good. But coming from where she came from, I think when she got there, she realized that there's a huge problem. Like I've addressed, it said, we're way behind the curve. She's done an amazing job getting the funding to increase some of the facilities and some of the aspects that we needed that were so long overdue. She's done a fantastic.
Bronco got here and was like, holy shit.
Yeah. She's done a fantastic.
That's what Bronco was feeling.
But that aspect, I think that's where her focus has been. So, for us, we see it on, she's made horrible coaching decisions. But if you look at it, I think she's had such a positive aspect on our community, our athletic program, in regards to what she's setting us up for in the future, which is, the donations, the being able to have the money to continue to build on some of the facilities that are lacking. That aspect she's done fantastic with. And I think we can all agree on that.
Oh, yeah. We got the Olympic Stadium, the Olympic facility getting ready to open up as well, right?
Yeah.
Where they tore down U-Haul. Remember, they're putting the Olympic facility, the swim area, all that new stuff they're putting behind the new build, the new football.
It still seems strange to look over there and not see the pregnant clam. That's all.
Right. But, man, so we've been on here for a little over an hour, and we still haven't gotten to our predictions, and we still haven't got to our basketball. I
don't think we need to put numbers on our predictions, do we?
Yeah. I don't think we need to do anything on our predictions either.
We'll take the field.
Yeah, and for everyone who doesn't know, our basketball team is going to be playing Thursday night against Tennessee at night in the Bahamas. I wanted to go to that so bad. I went last time, and I just couldn't get my stuff together to get out there. But if we want, I'll be there. You're not coming, right, AB? You're not going to be there on Saturday?
I will not.
I'm giving tickets away for that last home game, viewers and listeners, and we'll have to come up with a quick way to see if we can award them with someone. We'll come up with some kind of strategy to award them. But you going to be there, Wood?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Okay. All right. And it's a noon kickoff.
Settle down there, young talent.
And I know you're probably not going to go, right, Ed?
No, probably not. I'm not sure. Something's going on this weekend. I don't know what. I'm old, so we can't remember stuff. We don't go places. We don't go anywhere.
Ed, you know what I meant. Cut it out. Always bring it up.
There's an AARP convention you got to go to.
You know what? You don't. Your thing needs to be pot stirrer from now on, because you stir the pot more than anybody in this group. So that's what it needs to be.
That hurts.
You know
that description.
what I meant.
Well, let me come to you, Wood. What do you got to say in closing? We can close this out. And like I say, I will be at the stadium. I will do a walk-in, a pregame, postgame, and AB. If you want it, if you guys, I know you'll be walking out, Chad. I was thinking about trying to do a postgame where I can bring you guys into this to the live, but I don't know. We'll figure it out. Because I'm gonna go live on that and see if I can invite folks in. But anything you got to say, Chad, in closing?
Yeah, man, I'll join you Saturday. There's an AARP convention Ed and I are going to, but I'll hop on right after that.
Okay, all right, that'll be awesome. That'll be awesome. What about you, Ed?
Nice of you to remember the old folks. AB was asking earlier about majors that UVA is known for. I just a little quick flying by the seat of my pants research. History, biochemistry. Apparently, they have one of the best English departments in the country. Political science, public policy, economics, stats, mechanical engineering, systems engineering, computer science, the comm school. Let's see. Yeah, that's about it. Wall Street is lousy with comm school graduates.
Other than the medical and lawyer, those were the other.
Yeah, and that's not even counting medical and law.
That, the history part should have known. Thomas Jefferson.
Some schools have good history departments and some don't. Apparently, UVA's is top shelf.
And the political science piece, which
Larry Sabato is a known national figure for a reason.
That's right. That's right. Let me come to you, AB. What do you got to say in closing, dear?
I think I said enough for tonight.
I think we all did. I think we all have. Like I said, I think we get to blow off a little bit of steam here. I think everybody is frustrated. What are we, 10 games in? We want more wins. The question is, can they get one more win in one of these 2 games that are left? And if they do, who's going to go to a bowl game with me? That's what I want to know. But yeah, and also, like Wood was saying and earlier before, we got to figure out a 7 cities trip, whether we go to Carolina or we go to another part of Virginia, whether it's Northern Virginia or whatever, and hang out, meet up as a team. Maybe we all can hang out as a team and go like somewhere for a weekend, do dinner, hang out, do whatever, and do something as a 7 cities team. As much time as we spend with each other, on air. But I digress. We got to thank you, viewers and listeners, for hanging out with us and chilling. And it's been a great show. As I said, this one was going to be filled with a lot of emotion, a little spicy here, there and there to go. But we want to thank you for tuning in and hanging out with us.
We got popcorn left if anybody wants them.
Thank you for hanging out. But as of now, the shop is closed. Thank you, guys. I will see you at Scott Stadium. Fill it out. It's military appreciation game, last game of the year, and senior night. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.